everyone, it's Mia Bell, CEO at Mia Bell Brands. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to another Small Business Masterclass where every month industry experts and champion brands share their top tips to create success for yourself and your business. So you guys, when we're in our businesses, sometimes it's really hard to step out and take a breather and really get a whole picture of what's going on. Are we moving in the right direction? Are we taking the right steps? Do we have the right people in place? Are we even still running the same company that we were running a few months ago? So how do we ensure that we're creating that vision that you first had in mind? How are we making sure with all of the craziness that we have going on throughout the year and even at the end of the year, where we evaluate if we're on the right track, what worked, what didn't work? Do we have those strong pillars and columns of that big house, that big business house that you're building? So today we have a fantastic treat for you. And yes, every masterclass is a treat. Go on ahead, sit down, grab a pen and paper and take notes, because who I have with us today, she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to making sure that your vision comes together for your company. It's always true. You're always going to your true north, and also maintaining that foundation that you need to continue growing and thriving in your business. Michelle Gay is a consultant that works with businesses to develop a strong foundation for growth, put the right people in the right place doing the right things, and teaches owners and managers to be good leaders. You guys, that's incredible. She has partnered with many small businesses to realign themselves for sustainable growth. Michelle, hello. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Mia. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be with you today.
You guys, Michelle literally is the real deal. And I can say this because I've worked with Michelle, here at Mia Bell, and to restructure and always get our vision back in alignment and make sure that we're really pointing to our true north. Our true north means our true vision, and that I'm not losing sight of that as a CEO. So Michelle, I know that today you're bringing in some really key tips on how basically to build a strong vision and foundation for a business. And I think this is a really good time to kick you off on those, because this is what people need to hear.
Awesome. Thank you. So I think the first one I really want to bring to light is the fact that it's really important that everybody knows their purpose. Why did they start this business? How is it that they want to go out and serve the world with this? Is it because they have an amazing product or service that will really benefit the world in some way? And I think that as owners really start in business, that they tend to forget this down the road. And I think about the work we did together. And that was such an enlightening moment when you're like, oh, this is what I do in the world. This is actually what I do everywhere in the world. And I think realizing that each of us as individuals has a purpose to give the world, and we use our businesses as a way of doing that. And so as business owners, when we lose sight of that, then we're off our track and things are not congruent.
And one of the things that comes up all the time, and viewers, I don't know if this happens to you, because it surely does happen to me, is I am sometimes in my business, because we as the founders and creators of this business, we want to make sure that it's surviving and that it's definitely going to the dream. We're building on that dream. We got into this because we wanted to create something beautiful and bring something wonderful to the world. Now, sometimes we lose sight of that when we're down there in the trenches, shoveling mud with everybody else, or just having a hard time figuring out what our next step is. And there are some times where you sometimes have self-doubt. And that is very common, let me tell you that. It is common. And those that do not give into self-doubt and continue going forward, this is what Michelle was very, very instrumental in just making sure that I knew this every time, was it's not perfect. But you have to ensure that what you're doing is continuously building on itself.
And I think that comes to the next thing about really stepping out of your business and realizing you and your business are very, very separate entities. You are not your business. You are what created your business. However, it is not you. And you have a life outside your business. And a lot of owners dive in and don't build that, and then feel like they've sold their soul and no longer love it. But when you build a business where you have your foundation and you've made time for you and you've made time for your business. That is really valuable. And it also lets you step outside your business and see what it needs and have that conversation with that as an objective conversation versus this is what I want, this is what I need. It's about what your business wants and needs. And I think so many owners, once they get to that point and can realize that, they're like, wow, I actually need some other people. I need some different things. My business, it's really important that someone handles business during this time when I want to take vacation. So I need to find someone to do that or not take vacation then. So all of those different things, really separating yourself and not having your identity be your business.
So that is your second tip that I see here. Separate yourself from your business. And now this is a little bit hard.
Really hard.
There's so much struggle when it comes to this. It's because, when you start a company, that is your purpose, your passion, right? That is fueling your action into creating that business. And so viewers, if you also can relate to this, how easy it is for you to feel so personally invested in your company. And also, anything that goes well is due to you. Anything that goes bad is due to you. And anything that anybody criticizes is to you. When in reality, you guys, one of the things you got to really step out. And if it's hard for you today, I really would say work on that, because a company is a company is a company. It is something separate from you. Now, if you're having trouble separating that, that's when maybe you got to start talking to experts and foundational consultants, organizational consultants, like Michelle, who can pull you out and basically say, what's going on? What does your company cube package look like?
Well, and I think that brings up such an interesting point too. One of the first things I do with my clients is kind of force them to take some time off. And whether it be a day, because for some that's all they can handle, or a week, and come back and look at their business really objectively. And it's amazing how life-changing that small amount of time is. Did their business fall apart? What's still standing? How much does it really need them? Did it continue on without you? And I think those are the things that are really important to realize. And that's when you really realize that, oh yeah, my business and I were actually separate things. So now I'm going to build my business.
And that segues actually into tip number 3, which is outline the needs of your business and build a structure that will support the needs and direction of the business. My goodness, I'm pretty sure a lot of your clients and people that you physically mentor and coach have some struggle with this. I don't know if you can expand on this more for sure, because this is a good one.
It's huge. It's a huge struggle for a lot of people because, there aren't a bunch of classes on let's build internal business structure. No, there are people who will tell you, how to build your finances and how to hire people and all of that. But to put it all together and what does it look like and how does each day function and how do we communicate within our companies is what we're choosing sustainable. And a lot of companies will start something on a really small level. And they're like, oh, it works. They hire a few more people in. It doesn't work at all. So if it doesn't work from square one, it actually doesn't work at all. So it's really important to be able to see the scalability of the process. And if it's not scalable, it actually doesn't work. And also too, realizing that in small companies, a lot of people build positions for people versus finding people to fill positions. And so when that one person goes, all of a sudden, now we don't know what we're doing. It's like, well, they left and they knew everything. And that's one of the most important things in business is we're building a business. It's a whole separate entity. It's not built on a person. If you get sick, your business still needs to run. So how will that happen?
So Michelle, how devastating for a company is it when the bottleneck, that's who it is. The person that holds all of the information of a specific task or a specific position, specific role leaves. How devastating is that? It's
huge because all of a sudden you now have to look down, you have to rebuild everything because they have all the knowledge. It wasn't documented. All of my clients get so tired of hearing document. Is it documented? because we need to have that guide of how we run the company. And people are going to ebb and flow. You're going to have people come and go and choose to do different things or move into different positions and all of that. And the only way to be ready is to have everything documented so that you understand where step A, B, C, D, and down the road are. If you don't have that, then honestly, you don't have a sustainable business. You have a hobby that you really like for now.
Yeah, guys, we're not building hobbies. We're building businesses for the long haul. It's how we eat. It's how we put food on the table and how we really shine in this world. You know, this was your place to shine and shine bright. So make sure that you always have a house, you know, a house built on solid columns and foundation, and all the individual rooms are built. This is how I've started to see, you know, the building of a company. And, you know, yes, I myself have come from inside multi-million-dollar companies, widely distributed brands, and they are all, you know, well-oiled machines. And to see that, that is what you can have. You know, you can have the scalability, you can reach those six figures, multi-million dollars, if you have the foundation to sustain it and to build on it. So one of the things that at least I hear from our brands that we work with, because we work to scale them as well. You know, we come in as part of their team. So it's not just them anymore. It's them plus this many other people. So when we come in, we also work on building those wholesale foundations if they want to roll into more stores. That is absolutely important, because if without that foundation, and Michelle is going to say yes to this, I'm pretty sure, you can't move on to the next step on the stairwell. You can't go in that direction as fast as you want to. You will always be staying in that one place, pushing that boulder up that mountain all by yourself when you really know that you need some more heavy equipment.
And I think that's kind of a big thing too with owners. They're like, well, I can do that. I can do that. And kind of understanding too, what is the return on investment of that energy? If you're doing all the shipping, who's growing the company? There has to be someone in that position of scaling. So hire someone to do your shipping. Someone would probably love to do that. Someone with great attention to detail who likes doing really monotonous things. It's monotonous. That's generally not the place for an owner to be. And if that investment of that wage then can put that owner where they are growing the company exponentially, well, that's a great return on investment of time and energy and money.
And time is a big one. Also, I mean, we're hitting a bunch of big things here, especially time. You know, as CEOs, founders, creators, we literally cannot find enough time in the day to do things. One of the things that you have to realize quickly, if you want to grow and you want to scale, is you have to make the time. Therefore, that means buying the time. Therefore, that means delegating the time. So there were things that I know that I could do in 2 seconds that would take me maybe 10, 15 minutes to teach someone. Well, rather, I teach that person that operation, and then they can do it over and over and over and over after that, and I don't have to touch it again. So what currently in your business do you know is broken? What isn't flowing very well? And Michelle, if someone is already thinking of something right now that isn't quite working, it's quite clunky as far as processes and procedures, what is maybe the one thing they can do immediately to start really focusing on trying to fix that?
I think to really actually just get curious about that thing. Get really curious. Be like, why doesn't it work? Where was it stuck? Is it stuck in the beginning, in the middle, the end? Is it a person where it's stuck? Is it that we're missing part of a procedure? How is it stuck? And to really take time to process through that, I think that with each client I have, as we process through their things, we're like, oh, this doesn't work because we're missing a piece. This doesn't work because we're missing a person. This doesn't work because we have too many people in the process. That is a big one, where things are handled too much, too often, and it just is not streamlined. So I think really to sit down and really take time to think about it. It's a worthy investment.
The more that you know facts, the more objective you can be with your decisions, right, Michelle?
Absolutely. And I think when you really start to look at it that way, you start to realize which things are taking your attention away. And when I work with people, we strip everything down and we're like, okay, we're going down to the core and we're going to set all these extra things on the side. And if they really still fit, we'll bring them back. And if they don't, we don't need them. And I think it's just so easy in this day and age of we have to do, you hear all of this, we have to, we should, we're supposed to. Yet you really have to take time to see how that fits with your business. And just because someone says that you should post on social media 15 times a day, does that actually serve your business? Are your clients on social media? They might not be. So I think really thinking about how you're doing that and what is the intention with each thing that you're doing in your business so that it really supports the vision and purpose and the structure.
And what is the one thing that you told me, Michelle, that I keep going back to saying, I will not collect what?
Oh, shiny pebbles.
Can you explain that to our viewers, please? Because I had shiny pebble syndrome.
They were all over the place. So when it's so, because those shoulds, supposed tos, those have tos, all those things you feel like you need to do because the outer world tells you, all of a sudden is I work with people and we start to strip that down. Like, do you really need this? Do you really need this? Do you really need this? They realize they actually don't need any of it. And those things are just things that take your attention, your time, and your energy away from your true focus. And staying on that true north is so important. And those shiny pebbles, they're still there if you really, really want them or you need a new idea, and maybe it will fit later down the road. But I think that, each time I meet with clients and they have shiny pebble syndrome, they're like, well, I can do this and I can do this. You can do all of those things, but how far will each of those things take you? And when we strip it down to almost nothing and then put the little bits back, it's amazing how much stronger a business is.
Yeah, literally, guys, I had this tower of shiny pebbles, shiny ideas. And once we finished, it was like, get out of the way. There's no way. That does not fit. It does not work, nor do I want to create the foundations and systems for that. How incredible would that feel to be able to objectively say no to something and still be able to scale and move forward at an incredible pace, incredible momentum. Now, the next tip you have is if you don't know something, find a reliable source that does. Now, how important is this to a company, Michelle?
It's huge. I think that so often as entrepreneurs, we work in such a solo incubator, and that we have to come up with all the ideas ourselves and all the thought process, and we'll tell ourselves the exact same stories over and over. And so I think one of the companies I work with, she said really one of the things to her success has been that every time she doesn't know something, she goes and finds someone who does and is absolutely willing to ask for help. And that is a really powerful thing. There's no way that any one of us came with all of the tools to do all of the things. There are plenty of tools that I don't have. My forte is working with people and building structure. That is what I do. And if you want someone to do your marketing, I'm not your person. I will go find someone to help do marketing. If you want some financial advice, I really don't like to dive there. It's not fun. So I will go find somebody else. So all of those different things. I'm not a social media guru, not my thing. So happy to find someone else. So I think really building that great team of mentors and advisors who can really help you when you're struggling, but then also to take that advice and decide if it's relevant to you.
So Michelle, I know that we probably have some viewers really thinking right now and really pumped up to change some things in their company and really build it how they truly envisioned it to absolutely match their passion and their purpose. So Michelle, how can people connect with you? 2 questions. How can people connect with you outside of this interview? And the second question is, any last parting words of advice?
Ooh, where to start?
Pick one. I know we can go crazy on this.
Parting words. Let's start there.
Yeah.
Get curious. Get curious. Be okay with failing. I think failure is awesome. people look at me like I'm crazy all the time. So I'm like, oh, that is so great. That failed. So what did you learn? What did you figure out? If we're always successful, we actually learn nothing. Failure is amazing. There's so many lessons to learn in there. And curiosity. I think I say that more often than anything. Get curious. I don't know. Did you get curious? Did you ask questions? Did you figure it out? Maybe that wasn't the path you wanted. So where else would you go? What would happen? So I think those are the two things, really. Just, get curious, make mistakes, and be willing to look at it really objectively. I wholeheartedly love this work, and I'm open to talking with anybody. And you can reach me. The simplest way is at connect@michelle-gay.com. I would love to offer 10 people a 30-minute free consult just to get curious. So feel free to contact me through email, and I would be happy to set that up with you.
Wow, no, this is so cool, so cool. And, dear friend, thank you for all that you do and for, stepping into your zone of genius and serving in this way. You guys, step into your zone of genius. Bring those people in that are going to assist you to continue thriving in that zone of genius. So I will make sure to put Michelle's email down here at the bottom in the comments, and also all of her social media handles and ways that you can connect with her additionally. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I hope this masterclass was helpful. If you love this video, please go on ahead and give it a like, share it with anybody that you think would absolutely enjoy hearing this and that you think would need this. So we will catch you in the next master class. Also, don't forget to follow Mia Bell Brands. That's at Mia Bell Brands on social media. We're primarily on Instagram, Facebook, and live stream. So we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much, you guys. Bye-bye.